I'm just gonna name my present moment experience. I'm feeling pretty anxious. Yeah, I just want to name it so that if you're picking up on that, you'll know why. Um, yeah, I'm still in Costa Rica and I have to take my daughter across the border to Panama today. I'm driving my own car. And I'm feeling anxious about it. I don't really understand the process super well. So I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to model how we can be with challenging emotions. Anxiety is one of them. So, to serve all of us and to serve me, and so that I can ground, let's do some 4-7-8 breathing. So there's a great video by Dr. Andrew Weil. It's Weil. So if you Google Dr. Weil 4-7-8 breathing, there's a great like 3-minute video that describes this really fully. It's quite simple and I use it all the time. Um, and I especially use it when I'm anxious. So what this entails, many of you have already heard me teach this, but for those of you that it's new, the most important thing is that the in breath is half as long as the out breath. So, for example, if you're counting in your head and you're counting to 4 on the in breath, so you're breathing in through your nose and you're counting 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, then you're going to double that for the out breath. So in breath is 4 seconds, out breath is 8 seconds. So it doesn't really matter the how long it is. It could be 5 and 10, it could be 3 and 6. It's just that it's a 1-to-2 ratio basically. And the reason scientifically and biologically why this is effective, and the yogis figured this out thousands of years ago just through their own practice. So this comes from pranayama, or the breath work that the yogis figured out many, many thousands of years ago. And the biological reason why this likely works, that they just figured out experientially, is that the vagus nerve, so the nerve that runs through the neck and then through the inner part of the body, it then runs through the diaphragm, the breathing muscle. And so the way that we breathe really can affect our nervous system very directly. And the vagus nerve is the nerve in charge of calming the nervous system. It's in charge of the parasympathetic nervous system. So the vagus nerve is like the big nerve for um, calming the fight or flight system, the opposite system in our body. So when we breathe in these calculated certain ways, it can turn on a switch of calm. And it's quite profound, actually. So the recommendation from Dr. Weil is that when people are learning this, or if you have high anxiety, that you do 8 breaths at a time. So 8 cycles of breath. Um, and when I use this with clients, if someone is experiencing a lot of anxiety, I have them set an alarm on their phone, either for every 30 minutes or every 60 minutes while they're awake. And I have them do 8 breaths. It's like a medication. It's like dosing the breath in a way, except there's no side effects besides calm. So it's pretty cool that way. Now, so that explains the inhale. We're going to say 4 or 3 or 5 or 6, you're going to find your own rhythm. And then we're going to double it. And that's going to be the length of your exhale. For the exhale, most of you are going to want to breathe out through your mouth, and you're going to purse your lips. That's because, 8 seconds for an exhale is pretty long, so you may want to do 3 in, 6 out. But even with that, there's a need to really slow down the exhale. So you can purse your lips. There's also a yogic type of breathing called Ujjayi breathing. And that involves like tensing the back of your throat. And I call it Darth Vader breathing because it's kind of like, let me see if there's a good way to explain it. Yeah, so if with your mouth closed, pretend that you're like breathing onto a glass, that you're trying to fog up. So it's kind of like, so you're tensing the back of your throat, and that can be a way to slow down the exhale instead of through the mouth with pursed lips. But both are effective, both work. So whichever you want to do is fine. And if Ujjayi breathing is new to you, maybe you want to try that another time. You can do Ujjayi breathing both on the inhale and the exhale. I'm just looking up how to spell Ujjayi breathing, so that if you want to look that up later, you can. Yeah, so it's Ujjayi. Lisa, do you mind just typing that into the chat for people? And actually, Lisa, I'm going to send you a link on the benefits of Ujjayi breathing and how to do it. Yeah, and it actually does really work for calming and focusing the mind quite well. But if it's new to you, what I would say is just leave it for another time. Leave it until you have time to study it. Okay, I just sent that to you, Lisa. So if you want to just share it, I sent it to you on Facebook Messenger. So if you just share it in the chat, then people can access it later. Okay. So let's practice. Oh, one other thing. So it's called the 4-7-8 breath. Thanks, Lisa. The 4-7-8 breath. And it's called that because it's 4 for the inhale, it's 7 for a breath hold, and 8 for the exhale. Like I said, it could be 3 inhale, 6 exhale. The breath hold is not necessary. And if you have breathing problems, like if you have COPD or asthma or emphysema, if you have pneumonia right now or COVID or something like that, that's making breathing challenging, I would just skip the breath hold and just do the in and the out. And if you don't have any lung problems or breathing problems, you can do the breath hold. It's 7 seconds long, and if that's too long, you can shorten it. So that part isn't so important. The 1-to-2 ratio is very important for the calming effect, but the breath hold part is not so important. The length of it isn't so important, or even if it's included, because if you have breathing problems and you do the breath hold and it creates anxiety, it's just going to kind of like totally counteract the purpose of the breathing. So I would skip the breath hold if it makes you feel anxious or if you have breathing problems. And it'll still be effective. Yeah, so I am going to count out the breathing for 4 breaths, for 4 complete breath cycles for you. And I'm going to count it out for you so that you can follow along. And then either during that or after that, if you're not doing the breath hold, or if you want to switch the counts for yourself, after 4 breaths, I'm going to be quiet and let you take over for yourself for the counting. And you can change the numbers Or if, like I said, if you have breathing problems, just count on your own right off the bat. Maybe mute me for a few moments, like about 2 minutes. All right. So let's just take a deep breath. Just take 3 deep breaths into the belly. And if you can and you want to make a sound on the exhale, um, and in that way I can help calm myself. You can join me if you want to. Breathing in. Nah. 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 And actually, before we do the breath counting, let's do 3 breaths, breathing in through the nose and then breathing out with mouth closed and hum. This can also be anxiety reducing, releases nitric oxide into the brain, calms the system. So breathing in deeply into the belly. Hmm. You're humming and making sound. Feel the reverberation, the vibration in the body. Tune into that. Breathing in. Hmm. Okay. So breathing in naturally for 1 breath, breathing in and breathing out, and then we'll start the counting. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now transition to counting for yourself. We'll do about 4 more breaths. Once you've done 4 complete breath cycles, or approximately that amount, just switch back to your normal breathing. Releasing the counting, tuning into your body, feeling the sensations of your body. Noticing sensation in the body, whether it be tightness or a sense of ease, maybe temperature. And see if you can just be with your body as it is in this moment. And if there are areas of discomfort or tightness or sensations that feel challenging to be with, what I will often do is I will place a hand or a finger or both hands on that part of my body. And I have found, for me at least, that it seems like the body can hear it or feel it. It can feel the touch. Almost like you're saying to your body without words, I'm here, I'm listening, I've got you. So I'd encourage you, if there are places of tightness or tension or resistance or pain, if there are parts of your body that you can reach, maybe put a hand on that part of your body. Maybe it feels good to put a hand on your heart and the other hand on the part of the body that's needing love, kind of like metaphorically and physically, literally connecting the heart to this part of your body through the hands. And above all, just trusting that your intuition, your inner teacher, your inner guide will help you know what feels best right now. And that always overrides any instruction from me or any other teacher. Trust your inner voice. Trusting the inner voice means trusting your body positioning too, whether that be lying down, standing up and moving, laying down and moving, or sitting. There can be benefit to stillness, to really tuning in to what's present, but sometimes the body just needs to move, and forcing our way through to stillness, in my experience, isn't always the most skillful way. So see where you're at today. Listen to your body, comfort and nurture it as it calls to be nurtured or comforted. And maybe there's not much sensation today, or there's a sense of neutrality or numbness. So that's welcome too. There's no like forcing sensation to be loud, just is what it is. And when we're getting used to learning how to listen to the body, sometimes we have been blocking the sensations in our body for so long, or the body feels unsafe. So trust if the body's quiet or it feels kind of numb, that that's just where things are at right now. And there's no right or wrong. the protective mechanisms sometimes, and sometimes there's just not a lot of sensation. So seeing if you can welcome your body, how it is today, right now, allowing your awareness to float from one sensation to the next. And you can use your breath also, as well as your hands, to bring a little more ease and comfort, perhaps, especially for those places, maybe inside the body or on the back body that you can't reach with your hands. And notice the jaw and the mouth. Notice if you're holding the inside of your mouth or your jaw tightly. We don't want to force relaxation. And all this preparation for meditation has a point. All this breathing and this allowing the body and then inviting the body to soften. Much easier to sit and meditate once you're tuned into your body, once you've given it some support to calm down, to relax, to land. So begin to notice if there is tension in the face, the jaw. And if there is, maybe just even taking both of your hands and placing them on your cheeks, like you would maybe take the face of your beloved or your child or grandchild or an animal. A very sweet, nurturing gesture. Just cupping your face if that feels good. Sometimes it can feel good too to just hold your forehead. And as always, if this doesn't resonate, if your inner teacher says, nah, don't want to do that, trust that. Listen to what your inner voice says your body is needing. And as far as eyes open or closed, trust that inner voice for that too. Well, bearing witness to the body doesn't mean feeling excruciating feelings in the body without any comfort, without any love. Believe me, I've tried that. Like the first 10 years that I meditated, I would try to sit stoically, just kind of white knuckling it through difficult body sensations. And let me save you some time. The body needs comfort, especially if you're going through something big like grief or loss, physical pain, which can often be from grief or loss, discomfort, really of any kind. You need comfort. And so often we do the opposite. We get mad at the body, get pissed off at it for the tension, the pain, and I've done that too many, many times, many, many years. And what I found to be a shortcut to more freedom, to more ease, is to really just listen. What does my body need right now? What is it showing me? Do I have a headache? Does it want a little head rub? Or just even a hand? Or does my body want to lay down because it feels so tired, maybe? So practice in this time. The invitation is to practice. Really giving your body, and therefore all of you, the tenderness that it's asking for in this moment, sweetness. Imagining the breath going into these spaces that need extra support. Literally visualizing the air, the breath going to your stomach or your hip or your back or whatever, wherever it's needed. The breath carries the aliveness of the present moment, the immediacy of the now. So it's a bit magical in that way, the breath. Another tool that I'll use or another trick is I will breathe in, and then on the out breath, I will whisper to myself inwardly in my mind. I'll whisper to my body, soften, or maybe soften, sweetheart, or I'm listening. So you can speak to your body, and the word soften, it's important how you say it. It's not a command, it's not harsh or judgmental. It has the energy of, oh, sweet body, thank you for serving me and housing me. Thank you for being this vessel that carries me around. Thank you, body. Thank you. I love you, body. I'm here for you. So, some of those words might not resonate. Most of us are still working on loving our bodies, but you get the feeling, you get the intention, I hope. You're really showing up for yourself. You're really showing up for this body with all that it's bringing today and meeting it with compassion, intending at least to meet it with compassion and softness. And there may be pleasant sensations in the body too. It's not all about pain and discomfort. If there are pleasant sensations, see if you can breathe into those, really fully welcoming them, just like you would pain or discomfort. And the trick with pleasant sensations is that the mind wants to get attached to them. It wants them to stick around forever, which will never happen because everything's impermanent. So just watch the mind with pleasant sensations. It's likely going to want to grab onto it and see if you can and then it dissolves, right? When you try to grasp it, oftentimes it goes away. So see if you can just be with unpleasant, pleasant, or neutral sensations for as long as they last in the body. Then they shift or transform, and then you're with the next thing in the body that's calling to you, that's speaking to you, and you meet it with whatever tools of nurturing you need: breath, word, inward word, or touch, self touch. And then expanding your awareness to not just the physical body, but also the emotional body. And for many of us, that feels like one and the same. For some, you might experience emotions more as thoughts or more as like just, I know I feel sad, rather than feeling it in the body. So, however it is for you, again, just like with the body, see if you can welcome whatever emotions are here. Noticing that we have preferences. We want to feel happy usually, we want to feel calm. But when we can meet the more challenging emotions, just like we do with the body, it's magic. When we meet the emotion and we allow it to just be, maybe we even feel into the physical sensation associated with the emotion. Interestingly, almost always, at least always in my experience, if you stay with it, it will shift. It's when we repress and block and hold at bay that emotions and body sensations keep coming back. And sometimes with, physical pain that's rooted in, injury or whatever, that's not really true. But allowing yourself to feel physically and emotionally just what's true for you today. And just like with the body, meeting your emotions with an intention for compassion and comfort, using the hands and the breath to bring that sense of nurturing, and maybe words, inward words. Maybe I love you. Maybe I'm listening. Whatever resonates for you in this moment, whatever you're longing to hear, that is what you can say to yourself, especially in difficult times. And notice if there's judgment or harshness or resistance. And see if you can just acknowledge, witness, and allow those ways the mind can react. The mind is often trying to help us, but many of the times it can hurt us instead. So just being aware of what the mind is doing, and just like with body emotion, welcoming in the mind as it is, but with the mind sort of taking even more of a step back, more of a like zooming out, more of a looking at the mind from above, seeing if you can get the bird's eye view of the mind. So when we're zoomed into something, when the mind is like really churning, really repetitive, if we're worried or afraid, it's this fear. So feel the fear in the body, be kind to the mind, and release the story. So feel the body, be kind to the mind, and let go of the story. Feel the body, be kind to the mind, drop the story. You're not rejecting the mind. You're not like, mind, shut up, be quiet. And if you are, notice that. And then try a different way if you're willing. Try the compassionate way. Try the way that talks sweetly to the mind. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, mind. Oh, thinking. Yeah, maybe you're trying to protect me, trying to solve something that feels really urgent. We're just going to drop in together, and I promise I will attend to what you're saying to me, mind. And let's just see if we can, for a moment, keep coming back to the body and back to the breath. And then we will deal with the logistical details and the thinking in just a few minutes. But first, let's support the body. Let's support the emotions and the mind. And then usually what happens is we're in a much better place to actually use the mind. When we jump to mind without dealing with emotions and body first, doesn't usually work. Usually we end up spinning, swimming upstream. So if you're swimming upstream or you're spinning, see if you could just zoom out and see that. Be kind to your mind, and then feel your body and then your heart and wherever it's needed. So we have a short time left to meditate in silence. Want to honor that there be some silent practice time with the instructions, invitations that have been shared. Be with yourself as you are. Comfort yourself as you need. Be kind to your mind. And we'll sit together in this way with this intention for about the next 5 minutes, and then I'll let you know when we're finished, when we're complete. We're in this together. As you sit tuned into your own being, I would love to read one of my favorite poems to you. I'm just allowing it to land on your ears and on your being, letting it in as much or as little as you wish, staying connected to your body and your breath. Called Kindness by Naomi Shihab Nye. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things, feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere like a shadow or a friend. Kindness. Love to invite you into 3 ohms, either inner ohms if you're in a place where making sound isn't accessible, or if that just doesn't feel comfortable to you, you can ohm inwardly, feel the ohm inside your body. And if you're ohming externally, tune into your own frequency, your own vibration. It is your frequency, it is your link to the divine, your link to your essence, this sound, this vibration. Feel it. It will bring you back home. So breathing in. May the fruits of our practice spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere, including our own. Mm. Thank you. Deep gratitude to each one of you for showing up today, for making space and time for yourself. It's the most compassionate, kind act you can do. People who don't understand meditation might think it's selfish, spending all this time just being with yourself inwardly. But man, I think it's one of the kindest things you can do for the world. when I think about how reactive I was in my 20s and my 30s, and sometimes in my 40s now. And little by little, through mindfulness, through whether it be washing the dishes mindfully, or sitting in meditation mindfully, or walking mindfully, whatever your meditation is, dance. It slows things down. It gives us more time. Little by little, it gives us more space so that we can meet the world and the people in it, including ourselves, with more compassion, more love. So when you meditate and you intend on bringing compassion to yourself, that is how we heal the world. One of the ways, I think.